PFF is running one of their biggest sales ever. 40% off a PFF Plus subscription right now using the promo code BLACKFRIDAY. That means that you get everything fully unlocked. You get the grades, you get the stats, you get all the fantasy advice, the betting advice, which our new player prop tool is available on web as well to make you a smarter, better. You've got all of the draft analysis, the free agency analysis, all of that great stuff. Subscribe.pff.com to get 40% off a year-long PFF Plus subscription. Get it now. Buffalo Bills coming off a big win against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They're traveling to Houston to take on the Texans. And where the Texans offense, a little up and down, the Bills, they're certainly going to have to take care of business against one of the best defenses in the NFL in Houston, and playing at home makes that all the more difficult. You want to talk about the Bills here for this one, or the Texans? Where we start?
I'll start with Josh Allen because he's, the center of the universe there in Buffalo, right? And when you look at the splits in his numbers this year, he's been outstanding against two things. A standard rush, when he's not blitz, you just get that four-man rush. He has the fourth best passing grade in the NFL. And against zone coverage, he has the sixth best passing grade in the NFL. Now, these are two things that the Texans bring a lot, right? The standard rush. You talk about them having the third lowest pass blitz rate in the league and the fifth highest zone coverage rate, despite having a really good secondary and a talented group of corners that includes Derek Stingley and Kamari Lassiter. They don't play a ton of man coverage. Now, what is interesting about this matchup is when the Texans, I should say, really shut down the Bills' offense last year, held Josh Allen to just 9 of 30 when it comes to completions. They went with more man coverage than usual. They got a little bit more aggressive on the back end, and they were not afraid of this Bills wide receiving core, right? And even this year, they still don't have that top guy. It's Josh Palmer. It's, Terrell Shavers was making plays last week. It's a lot of the tight ends, but Dalton Kincaid's going to be out this week. I'd be curious if they go back to that approach again, where last year they used man coverage right around a third of the time against the Bills in that win over them last year. I think the Texans, if they wanted to do that, they can, right? The question is, okay, can you load up and stop the run with your front seven, which they've been a lot better with lately too. Top 10 in run defense this year. Run defense great, I should say, this year as well. So that's going to be key. Without Kincaid, I believe Curtis Samuel's out for the Bills also. This is going to be a game where Josh Allen's going to have to take advantage when the Texans are in zone coverage, and he's still going to have to work around a really good four-man rush.
Yeah, I think a lot of the big plays, well, not a lot of, just some of the big plays that we got last week from the Bills on offense was really just Tampa not having the pass rush that they needed to. They don't have the finishers, if you will, on their defensive line. And there were a couple of times when Josh Allen's just in a scramble drill, and the receivers very clearly had some good chemistry on where to go, and Josh was able to see those guys. And so the breakdowns in coverage from Tampa Bay is something that I think really hurt them last week. And Houston's one of those teams that they know Josh Allen pretty well. They've obviously rattled him as of last year. And so they know what he's capable of. I feel like they're going to be a little bit more buttoned up. They're going to be more ready for it than Tampa's defense was last week. So I think they're definitely going to give the Bills more of a run for their money than the Buccaneers defense did the week prior. On the Texans side of things, C.J. Stroud not going to play in this game once again. He's missing. This would be his third game, I believe, missed due to that concussion. We'll get Davis Mills once again. And if you just look at the last two games that Davis Mills has played, he played really well. Played much better last week, I should say, against the Tennessee Titans. But then the week prior against the Jags, there were a lot of turnover-worthy plays. Now, he limited those again last week, so you'll like to see him get a little bit more comfortable the more reps that he's getting as the start of this season. But specifically going up against what he might see against the Buffalo Bills, the Bills have been running a lot of too high coverages, I would say, for the last couple of years. But specifically this season, they have been more aggressive, and they have gone with more of a single high approach, and they have a lot of snaps where you wouldn't necessarily think that this Buffalo defense would. Davis Mills over the last 2 weeks against single high looks, 62.5 passing grade. He has two big time throws versus single high with 2 turnover-worthy plays as well. So just a little bit more of an aggressive form of coverage. He's had an equal amount of big-time throws to turnover-worthy plays. Now, if you go to 2 high coverages, just more attacking zone coverages in general over the last 2 weeks, Mills has been better at that. He's been more efficient, less turnover-worthy plays. So clearly, he feels more comfortable finding those soft spots in the zone. But Buffalo has been able to run a lot more cover one looks, and I wonder if they're just going to continue that, looking at the tape over the last couple of weeks and seeing that, hey, when we've got that tight coverage, when we demand those better throws from Davis Mills versus man coverage, that's when he really starts to struggle. So I think that it'll be an interesting chess match there to see what the Buffalo Bills go with, but it does go towards, I should say, it leans in their favor where they've been going on defense and how they've been deploying their coverage. I think the Bills are the better team. I think they win this one. I'm going to go 24-13 is my final score here. Buffalo wins it.
I'm going to take the Bills also, but I don't think it's going to be that easy. I think this Texans defense is going to keep them in this game. And if Houston can find a way to run the ball with Woody Marks, then I think they really do have a shot to win. If C.J. Stroud was in this game instead of Davis Mills, I might pick the Texans to win it outright, but I'm going to go Bills 19-16. I think we're getting an ugly defensive game in this one.